Have you ever wondered why certain difficult situations seem to repeat themselves in your life, as if the universe itself were testing you? If you were born under the sign of Cancer, you need to understand that there's a much greater purpose behind these challenging experiences. The universe has very specific ways of testing Cancerians, and recognizing these signs can be the difference between growing spiritually or remaining stuck in the same patterns. In this video, I'll reveal the 12 most important signs that show when the universe is specifically testing a Cancerian. These tests aren't punishments. They're opportunities in disguise for you to develop your inner strength and discover your full spiritual potential. If you don't learn to recognize these signs, you may end up missing out on valuable lessons the universe is trying to teach you. But when you master this knowledge, you can navigate challenges with much more wisdom and purpose. Stay until the end because I'll also share how to transform each test into a personal and spiritual victory. First sign: relationships that shake your emotional foundations. The first sign that the universe is testing a Cancerian comes from relationships that seem to arrive out of nowhere, shaking your deepest emotional foundations. As a Cancerian, you highly value emotional stability and security in relationships, but the universe knows that your growth happens precisely when these comfort zones are challenged. It could be someone who awakens feelings you thought you'd never feel again, or someone who questions your beliefs about love and intimacy. These relationships don't arrive in your life by chance. They come to teach you important lessons about how you connect with others and, most importantly, how you relate to yourself. Often, these people act as mirrors, reflecting aspects of yourself that need healing or development. The universe uses these encounters to show you where you still harbor old emotional wounds that need attention. It can be painful at first, because it forces you to look at parts of yourself you'd rather keep hidden. But that's precisely the intention. The test isn't about finding the perfect relationship, but about learning to love yourself completely first. When you understand that these challenging relationships are opportunities for healing, you can embrace the lessons without getting lost in the emotional drama. Second sign: sudden changes in your home or family environment. The second sign emerges through unexpected changes in your home or family environment, which is every Cancer's sacred sanctuary. It could be a forced move, family problems that arise out of nowhere, or situations that shake the harmony of your personal space. As a Cancer, your home represents much more than a place to live. It is your emotional fortress, your safe haven. When the universe tests you through your home, it is asking you to develop a sense of security that comes from within, not from external circumstances. You may need to move to a place you initially dislike, or deal with family conflicts that test your patience and compassion. These situations force you to question what it truly means to have a home. Is your emotional security so dependent on a specific physical location? The universe is teaching you that true home is within you. When you learn to carry this sense of belonging and security internally, no external change can shake your emotional stability. This test also develops your adaptability, a quality every Cancer needs to strengthen. Instead of resisting change, begin to see it as an opportunity to create new sacred spaces wherever you are. The universe wants you to discover that you can transform any environment into a true home when you carry this energy within you. Third sign: financial challenges that test your ability to provide. The third sign appears through financial challenges that directly impact your natural need to provide security for yourself and your loved ones. As a Cancer, you have a very strong instinct to care for others, and this often manifests itself through your ability to provide material stability. When the universe allows you to experience financial hardship, it's not to punish you, but to teach you valuable lessons about true abundance. It could be the unexpected loss of a job, unplanned medical expenses, or investments that don't yield the expected results. These challenges force you to rethink your relationship with money and material security. The test here is about learning to trust the natural flow of life, even when circumstances seem uncertain. The universe wants you to develop a deeper faith in your ability to bounce back and find creative solutions. Often, these difficulties open doors to opportunities you never would have considered if you had remained in your financial comfort zone. They also teach you about real priorities. When money is tight, you discover what truly matters in life. This test develops your resilience and creativity, two essential qualities for any Cancer who wants to grow spiritually. Remember that true abundance goes far beyond money in the bank. Now, before continuing with the fourth sign, I have a special request for you. If this content resonates with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos about spiritual development and astrology. And let me know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Your participation greatly helps the channel grow and bring this knowledge to more people. Fourth sign. Creative blocks that challenge your inner expression. The fourth sign manifests through creative blocks that prevent you from expressing your true inner essence. Every Cancerian has a rich imaginative life and a deep need to express themselves creatively, whether through art, writing, cooking, or any other form of personal expression. When the universe blocks these channels of expression, it's forcing you to find new ways to connect with your inner creativity. It may be a phase where nothing you create feels satisfying, where ideas simply don't flow, or where you feel disconnected from your source of inspiration. These periods can be frustrating, especially since creative expression is a real emotional need for you. But the universe uses these blocks to teach you patience and the importance of nurturing your creativity in different ways. Perhaps it's time to explore completely new art forms, or to find inspiration in places you've never looked before. The test here is to not give up on your creative expression, even when it doesn't come easily. It's about learning that creativity has its own cycles, like the tides that rule your sign. Sometimes it's high and abundant, other times it recedes to renew itself. During periods of lockdown, the universe is asking you to reconnect with your inner source of inspiration, the one that doesn't depend on external circumstances to exist. Fifth sign. Situations that force you out of your emotional comfort zone. The fifth sign appears through situations that literally push you out of your emotional comfort zone, forcing growth in areas where you'd rather remain safe and secure. As a Cancer, you have a natural tendency to retreat into your shell when things get tough, but the universe knows that your true power emerges when you face challenges head-on. It could be a new job that requires skills you haven't yet developed, a responsibility you never imagined you'd have, or a social situation that tests your ability to relate to people very different from you. These experiences are inherently uncomfortable, but they carry immense transformative potential. The universe is testing your emotional courage, your ability to grow even when you feel insecure. Each time you embrace a challenge instead of hiding, you develop stronger emotional muscles. The test here isn't about becoming a completely different person, but about expanding your ability to deal with uncertainty without losing your sensitive essence. When you learn to navigate unfamiliar emotional territories while keeping your compassion and intuition intact, you discover a more complete and powerful version of yourself. The universe wants you to know that you can maintain your sensitivity even when you're brave. Sixth sign. Losses that teach us about detachment and renewal. The sixth sign reveals itself through losses that arrive to teach profound lessons about detachment and the cyclical nature of life. For a Cancer who naturally clings to people, places, and memories, these losses can be especially challenging. It could be the departure of a loved one, the end of an important phase of life, or the need to let go of something that held great emotional significance for you. The universe uses these experiences to teach that excessive attachment can impede your spiritual growth. It doesn't mean you should stop loving deeply, but rather learn to love more freely. These losses test your ability to honor what was while opening yourself to what is to come. It's one of the most difficult tests for any Cancer because it directly impacts your need for continuity and emotional stability. But when you can navigate these experiences with an open heart, you develop profound emotional wisdom. You learn that true love doesn't disappear with loss. It transforms and continues in other forms. The universe wants you to understand that life is made of cycles, just like the phases of the moon that rules your sign. There are moments of growth and moments of release, and both are necessary for the soul's evolution. When you accept this truth, every loss becomes an opportunity for rebirth. Seventh sign. Health issues that connect body and emotions. The seventh sign appears through health issues that force you to pay attention to the deep connection between your emotional state and your physical well-being. As a Cancer, you absorb a lot of emotions from your surroundings, and your body often physically manifests what you can't process emotionally. These could be digestive problems that arise during times of stress, headaches that occur when you're emotionally overwhelmed, or reproductive issues that reflect imbalances in your intimate life. The universe uses these physical signals to draw your attention to emotional aspects you've been neglecting. It's not a punishment, but a loving warning system from your own body. The test here is to learn to listen to these signals before they become bigger problems. Your body is constantly trying to communicate with you, showing you where energetic blocks exist or where you need more care and attention. When you begin to address these health issues not only physically but also emotionally, you discover a powerful path to self-healing. The universe wants you to develop a more conscious relationship with your body, recognizing it as a sacred temple that deserves care and respect. This body-mind awareness is especially important for Cancerians, who tend to carry the emotions of others without realizing it. 8th sign. Conflicts that test your ability to forgive. The 8th sign emerges through conflicts and disagreements that profoundly test your ability to forgive, both others and yourself. As a Cancer, you have a very strong emotional memory, which can cause you to hold grudges for long periods. The universe places situations in your life where people close to you may disappoint you, betray your trust, or act in ways that hurt your deepest feelings. These experiences are painful, but they serve an important evolutionary purpose. They test whether you can choose love over resentment, compassion over revenge. Forgiveness for a Cancer is not only about releasing the other person from responsibility for their actions, but mainly about freeing your own heart from the weight of hurt. The universe knows that when you carry resentments, they poison your ability to love fully in the future. The test is not about becoming a person without limits, but about learning to establish healthy boundaries without closing your heart. Sometimes forgiveness means walking away from toxic people, but doing so with compassion rather than hatred. When you master this art of conscious forgiveness, you release a tremendous amount of energy that was trapped in the past. This freed energy can then be directed toward creating healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. 9th sign. Family responsibilities that test your patience. The 9th sign manifests through intense family responsibilities that test your patience, compassion, and ability to serve without burning out. As a Cancer, you have a natural instinct to care for your family members, but the universe sometimes presents situations where this tendency is pushed to the extreme. It could be an elderly relative who needs constant care, children going through especially challenging times, or complex family dynamics that require your constant mediation. These situations test your ability to give love and care without losing yourself in the process. The universe is teaching you about healthy boundaries within the family, something that can be very difficult for Cancers who tend to sacrifice themselves for others. The test here is learning to care for others while maintaining your own identity and well-being intact. You cannot truly serve others if you are burned out and resentful. These intense family responsibilities also develop your patience and your capacity for unconditional love. They show you that true love sometimes means making difficult decisions that may not please everyone in the moment, but are necessary for the long-term well-being of the family. When you learn to navigate these responsibilities wisely, you develop an emotional maturity that benefits not only you but everyone around you. 10th sign. Forced isolation that promotes self-awareness. The 10th sign appears through periods of forced isolation that may initially seem like punishments, but are actually precious opportunities for deep self-discovery. It could be a life change that takes you away from friends and family, a health issue that forces you to spend more time alone, or circumstances that simply drastically reduce your social interaction. For a Cancer who values human connection highly, these periods can be especially challenging. You may feel abandoned or forgotten by the universe, but this isolation serves a very specific purpose in your spiritual journey. During these moments of forced solitude, you are forced to confront yourself without the usual distractions. This is when you can finally hear your inner voice without external interference. The universe is creating a sacred space where you can process old emotions, discover hidden talents, and reconnect with your purest essence. These periods of isolation also test your ability to find peace and contentment in your own company. When you learn to enjoy solitude rather than simply tolerate it, you develop a much more solid emotional foundation. You discover that you don't need constant validation from others to feel complete. This is one of the most valuable lessons the universe can teach any Cancer. 11th sign. Intuitions that challenge your usual logic. The 11th sign reveals itself through powerful intuitions that completely challenge your usual logic and force you to rely more on your inner wisdom. As a Cancer, you already possess a naturally developed intuition, But the universe sometimes sends messages so contrary to what seems logical that they test your faith in your own intuitive abilities. It could be a strong hunch about a professional decision that doesn't make sense on paper, a perception about a person that contradicts all external evidence, or an inner guidance that leads you down completely unexpected paths. These moments test whether you truly trust your connection to universal wisdom, or whether you're still too dependent on your rational mind alone. The universe wants you to develop the courage to follow your intuition, even when it leads you into unfamiliar territory. Each time you honor a true intuition, you strengthen this sacred connection and become a clearer channel for divine guidance. The test here is to discern between true intuition and disguised fears or desires. True intuition is often accompanied by a sense of inner peace, even if the suggested path is challenging. When you learn to trust this inner guidance, your life flows with much more synchronicity and purpose. The universe is preparing you to become a beacon of intuitive wisdom for others who are still learning to trust their inner voice. 12th sign. Opportunities to serve that expand your compassion. The 12th and final sign appears through unexpected opportunities to serve others, which expand your natural compassion to entirely new levels. This could be someone who needs help just when you're struggling, situations where you're called to use your gifts of emotional healing to help strangers, or circumstances that place you in the position of being the support someone needs in critical moments. These service opportunities test whether you can transcend your own concerns to connect with the suffering and needs of others. For a Cancer who already has a natural tendency to care, these situations may seem like an additional burden, but they are actually invitations to discover the difference between caring out of obligation and serving out of genuine love. The universe is teaching you that true service doesn't drain you, it energizes you. When you serve from a place of pure love, rather than trying to fill your own emotional voids by caring for others, you experience a deep satisfaction that nourishes your soul. These experiences also show how your own challenges have prepared you to help others going through similar situations. Every pain you've transformed into wisdom becomes a healing tool you can offer the world. The ultimate test is discovering that your sensitivity and caring ability are not weaknesses, but spiritual superpowers that the universe wants you to use to elevate humanity. We have reached the end of this journey of discovery about the 12 signs that show when the universe is specifically testing a Cancer. If you identified with several of these signs, know that you are not alone in this experience, and that each challenge has a greater purpose in your spiritual evolution. The universe's tests are never random. They are carefully orchestrated to develop precisely the qualities your soul most needs to cultivate in this lifetime. Remember that being a Cancer tested by the universe is actually a privilege, because it means you have the potential to grow far beyond what you imagined possible. Every difficult situation is an opportunity in disguise to discover strengths you never knew you possessed. From now on, when you face challenging moments, instead of questioning why this is happening to you, ask yourself what the universe is trying to teach you, and how you can use this experience to become an even better version of yourself. Your sensitivity is not a weakness to be overcome, but a precious gift to be refined through these cosmic tests. If this video brought clarity to your journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content on spiritual growth and astrology. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these 12 signs most resonates with your current experience? How have you handled the tests the universe has placed in your path?